Alright guys, Constantinou here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how you can feel like a failure and how to overcome this feeling. So how to avoid feeling like a failure and how to overcome it. Kind of the title, kind of not the title. I don't actually remember what I wrote, but anyway, the content of this video is about how to avoid feeling like a failure, right? Because a lot of the time we can be having a lot of success in our lives, a lot of happiness, feeling a lot of momentum, and then it just takes that one thing to stop us in our tracks and completely slow us down to moving forward to our goals. And the one thing that sets us back isn't about how we feel, isn't about what we are doing, but it's about comparing ourselves to other people's progress. You see, the biggest reason why people fail is because they are comparing themselves to other people's progress. And if you just think back to a time in your life when you were doing really well, maybe with your fitness or in your career, and things are going exceptionally well, and you stopped and started thinking about that other person, your friend's body, your friend's career, how did that make you feel in that moment? You see, it's not about what you are doing. It's got nothing to do with where you're at in your life, but it has everything to do with what you are comparing your current situation to. And this is the reason why most people fail. This is the reason why most people fall into slumps, get down, get depressed, and end up giving up on themselves. And so the lesson here is to be more analytical of your current situation and recognize when you are comparing yourself. Right? The time that you start comparing yourself is the time that you start to feel inadequate. You start to feel like you're not moving forward. You start to feel like you're failing in life. And so when those feelings, when those emotions start to come about, that is when you need to start looking at what you are doing, the thoughts that you are having. And more often than not, it's because you are comparing yourself to somebody else, somebody else's success, or maybe even your own. Maybe you're thinking back to that time that you used to have abs, that time that you used to fit into those jeans. You're thinking back to the time that you felt really good, but because you don't feel it now, you start to feel like the progress that you're making isn't good enough. And so what ends up happening is you end up stopping and completely giving up on yourself. And this is the moment that most people end up not getting back on track, end up not trying again. They just give up because they think it's impossible to get themselves back to where they were, or it's impossible to get to where their friends are, or it's impossible to get to that person who you admire on social media. You see, when we start to feel like it's not possible to get to where we want to be, we stop trying. We give up on ourselves, we give up on our goals, we give up on our hopes and ambitions, and then we just start to go backwards. We start to regress in the things that we want to happen in our lives. So the thing that really needs to happen in your life is to stop comparing yourself. It's the most harmful thing you can do, and it's one of the conversations I have with many of my clients every week when they are making amazing progress and they start to see other people on social media, their friends, colleagues at work, losing more weight and feeling disheartened that they're not losing the same amount of weight. And when you start that conversation around other people's progress, when you start to compare your progress to somebody else's, you will start to feel inadequate. You will start to feel like you're failing. You're going to start to feel like you're not moving forward, even though you are making amazing progress and it is relative to you. One of the other places that can really damage your self-esteem and your feeling of success is social media, right? If you are scrolling up and down your feeds, following people who are living big lives, who are rolling with fancy cars, who are ripped and have six-pack abs and are showing it off, or they have an amazing body. If you're following these kind of people and it is not enhancing your life, if you are comparing yourselves to these people, then you need to stop following them, because they're only going to make you feel more inadequate and feel like what you have isn't good enough. And I've experienced this before. When I was really obsessed with fitness and competing, I found myself comparing my physique to the other guys that I was competing against. And although I was in amazing shape and everybody would have said I was in great shape, I didn't feel like I was in great shape. And the reason why is because I was so caught up with how other people looked. And in that process of comparing myself, I started to take away the things that I had achieved with my body. I started to feel like I wasn't good enough. And so what I did is I just removed myself from as many of these people that I was starting to feel inadequate against. When I was feeling like what I had wasn't good enough, I completely disconnected, unfollowed, unsubscribed, whatever you want to call it, to all of the people that created that feeling inside me that I wasn't good enough, or that voice in the back of my head that started to compare what I had to what they have. And it was the fastest way to feel happy. Within minutes, within seconds, I felt so much happier within myself when I started to remove myself, my identity, from comparing myself to other people. And in that process, I have become a lot happier, a lot more confident, a lot more settled within myself, and less of a need to worry about what other people are doing. And if you want to feel happy and content within yourself and the progress that you're making, I highly recommend you start to unfollow, disconnect, unsubscribe from the people, the places, the brands, anything on social media that starts to make you not feel good enough. And you will start to feel amazing and continue on the journey, the progress that you're making, whether it's with your body or health or in your careers, and get to that place of happiness and feel good about yourself. So if you are on a journey, a fitness journey, if you are trying to improve your body, improve your health, and you want to avoid the comparing and you want to focus on your own journey, go and check out my free masterclass. Go to thebodyconsult.com/masterclass. That is thebodyconsult.com/masterclass. And in this masterclass, I share the steps and principles that I teach my clients so that they can focus on their own journey, take ownership for the progress that they're making with their body, and transform their lives forever. And when you can change the way you think and the way you feel, you'll start to have better relationships, you'll start to progress in your careers, your businesses, and enjoy life that little bit more. So check it out, and if you have any questions, comment below or send me a message. More than happy to dive in, understand where you're at, and if we can overcome the challenges that you're facing. See you guys soon.